Your brand positioning is what enables people to find your brand, connect with your brand, and ultimately invest in your brand. Learn the 7 steps of superstar brand positioning in this video. You may have the best brand in the whole world. You might have the best offering ever. And if nobody knows about it, if they can't find it, if they can't connect with it or engage with it, they're not going to invest in it. So great brand positioning strategy is what solves this problem. It helps you be visible and found and known and invested in. It solves the problem of constantly having to push, peddle, or promote what you do, and instead attracts people to you. And not only anybody, but the right people to you. The best kind of brand positioning is one that attracts people, that pulls them in, and that compels them to come and find you and seek you out, and also to talk about you and refer you to other people. The first part of great brand positioning is purpose. Purpose is what gives your brand depth. It's what gives your brand meaning. It's what makes people care about your brand. A great example of a brand with purpose is Tom's shoes. For every pair of shoes you buy, they give another pair to someone in need. That's a great example of a brand that leads with their purpose. Now, not every brand has to lead with purpose, but in their case, it works really well for them. The second key to great positioning is knowing who your people are. That means understanding the demographics and also the psychographics of your ideal audience. So your people have problems. They have pain points. They're looking for solutions. What are they looking to solve? And who are they? Where do they hang out? So knowing everything that you possibly can about your people can help you target your brand more effectively. The third thing that you need for compelling brand positioning is to know your people's pain points and problems. Now, there are 3 kinds of pain points and problems. The first is the one they know and admit. The second is the one they know and they don't admit. And the third is the one they don't even know. And that is what I call the blind spot. Now, it's important to know these 3 things in your branding because when it comes time to do your marketing, this is what you'll want to focus your marketing on. You'll want to focus on bringing them in with the problem they know they have. For example, the problem that my ideal clients know they have is that they want to grow their business and they want to grow their thought leader business faster. But the problem that they know and they don't admit is that they feel less confident. They feel like maybe they're doing something wrong. They doubt themselves and they lack the courage to try something new because they don't know what they need. And the thing that they don't know is they probably need either a new brand or a new business model, right? So the blind spot is what I'm educating people about in my marketing and in my branding. And really, if I were to create a thought leadership brand around this positioning, I might write a book that tells people, hey, that tells my target audience, right? My people who are superstars, speakers, authors, coaches, thought leaders. So it might tell them, hey, here's how to grow your thought leader business. Don't feel bad. You've been missing out on this key component, which is your business model and your brand. So that might be how I would position my brand and use this information as I go and deploy the brand in the world. The fourth thing that is important for brand positioning is your pricing. Now, a lot of people don't realize that pricing positions your brand. But if you think about brands like Mercedes-Benz or Christian Louboutin shoes or Jimmy Choo shoes or Gucci or any number of luxury brands, then you understand that pricing signals to the market where it belongs. So a high-end brand is going to have a high price point to go with the brand. If all of a sudden you start to see Rolls Royces on the street for $5,000 or $10,000, that brand will lose its positioning, okay? So knowing where you belong here is really important. One thing I like to do is map out a price value matrix. So this here is value and this here is price. Let me use a different color to make this clear. Brands that have a high value and a high price over here are more profitable than brands that have high value, low price. Over here is a volume model. So if you're a superstar, if you're a thought leader, a coach, a speaker, author, and you're underpricing your brand, then you are signaling to the market that you are worth less than you really are. And you're creating a situation where you have to fulfill more volume in order to make the kind of money you want to make. And that's exhausting. So it's really important, especially for our thought leader businesses, to be here in the high value, high price part of the matrix. Now, here's the cool thing though. Once you've established yourself as a brand of high value and high price in this boutique, profitable part of the matrix, then it's much easier to go and create a mass market product and be able to sell it because you will already have pent up demand for your offerings. The wrong thing to do is to drop your price point on your existing offerings. The right thing to do is to create new offerings that are in this volume space, like an online course or a 6-week virtual program. So you can create these lower price point offerings and leverage your boutique price point brand. Make sense? The fifth thing that a well-positioned brand needs is a positioning statement. Now, here's the thing. I have done a bunch of videos about positioning statements, so I'm not going to get into it here. Just click up there and check out one of my videos on how to create your brand positioning statement. The sixth thing that you need to have for brand positioning strategy is a promotion strategy. In other words, how are you going to put your brand out into the world? What kind of methodologies are you going to use? What kind of content marketing are you going to use? Are you going to do a podcast? Are you going to do events, email marketing, social media? What are the different ways that you're going to promote your brand? And when you find your promotional strategies, that's going to further position your brand. You're going to look for strategies that get in front of the right people. You're going to look for strategies that highlight these pain points and problems. You're going to look for strategies that show high value so that you can justify the higher price point. So promotional strategies go a long way towards positioning your brand. And then finally, last but certainly not least, is placement. And placement means, where does your brand live? Where can people find out about your brand? One of the obvious places that your brand needs to live is on the internet, and to have a homepage that tells people about your brand, that showcases your positioning and the people that you serve and the problems that you solve. But also placement is like where you're putting your brand out into the world too. If you are sponsoring events that make sense, where your ideal audience is going to gather and congregate, that's placement. So your placement is, where are you going to find your people and where are they looking to solve their pain points and problems? If you, for example, are a social media consultant, then it might make sense to go to an industry conference so that you can find your ideal clients and teach them about social media. You might even want to think about going to your own social media industry conferences, because that's likely where other people are searching for your products and services. So placement is where you go, where you put your brand so people can see it. And that could be physically where, but also in publications or in online forums or different types of social media. For example, if your target audience is a baby boomer, you're probably not going to find them on TikTok. Yeah, you might find them on TikTok, but more likely they're going to be hanging out on Facebook if they're on social media. So this is the overall strategy, but if you want to dive deeply into this positioning statement, which I highly recommend you do, go check out my video on how to create a great positioning statement. Good luck, enjoy.